Before you watch this video, make sure to watch part 1. It will be the first link in the description. We left off with the Chiss and Anakin's empire successfully combining their strength to defeat the Yuzong Vong, who brought chaos and death of billions around the galaxy. However, in the shadows, a new enemy was watching and waiting for their opportunity to strike. The lost tribe of the Sith had returned. They were an off-branch of Sith from the empire formed by Naga Sadow that had been living by themselves for thousands of years. They didn't live by the rule of two, and thus, their numbers were many, now more than Anakin's forces. However, they were Sith, and aimed to rule the galaxy. They were based on Kesh, a planet in wild space, and had been secretly building their forces for decades, until their strength could rival whatever force controlled the galaxy. And now, with the Yuzong Vong's defeat, Anakin's empire was vulnerable, and he was at threat of a revolution. They first attacked one of Anakin's scout ships that contained 10 Sith warriors sent to occupy new planets in the unknown regions. They wanted to show their dominance and brutally murdered all of Anakin's warriors and forces. The leader of the lost tribe, Darth Talon, was present and sent a warning to Anakin that his time and power was over, that a new empire was upon them. If he was to surrender, she'd honor him with a place by her side. But of course, she knew Anakin would refuse and only wanted to enrage him. She wanted the war and thrived in it. Anakin is sent the footage and curses to himself, calling them cowards for attacking them when his empire was the weakest. But no matter, he will show them no mercy and crush them with all his might. All-out war breaks out, and the lost tribe quickly takes control of the unknown regions. The Chiss Ascendancy's forces are too small, and with their large fleet and power of the Force, the lost tribe of the Sith dominate them. The Ascendancy planets are occupied and controlled by Darth Talon, and uses them as the tribe's central commanding station of the unknown regions. In response, Anakin sets up a perimeter in front of the unknown regions, not permitting their entrance into his territory, and countless skirmishes occur all over the border. Because the tribe has occupied so many planets, the Death Stars would be ineffective in forcing them back. Anakin doesn't want to destroy the planets, he wants them under his control. Anakin has stayed back from the fighting and focused his efforts on commanding rather than directly engaging in battle. However, the opportunity arises on the planet Lenara. They got intel from Thrawn, who'd infiltrated the lost tribe by declaring loyalty to them. Thrawn was cunning and insanely mentally strong, so was able to pass their tests of Force Probe, and the lost tribe believed he was on their side. He passed information to Anakin that Darth Talon and her High Council would meet on the planet Lenara in 2 days' time to discuss their war plan. Anakin pounces on this, and in 2 days' time, he goes there with Leia and more of his Sith warriors with the goal to end the war once and for all. Anakin gets there, and their intel was right. Talon and her High Council were grounded and unaware of the impending assault. Anakin's forces land and raid their camp, and he casts a force drain over the battlefield, weakening everyone involved. Battle endures, and the crack of lightsabers clashing echoes throughout the surrounding forest. Anakin sees Darth Talon across the battlefield, and they begin running towards each other, ready to end the war here and now. But Anakin stops in his tracks, as he senses a dark impending doom. Is he about to lose this fight? No, not a chance. He doesn't deem Talon strong enough to challenge him. Something's not right, and he looks to his left at Leia, engaged in a fierce battle, as a blinding white light encapsulates the battlefield momentarily and blinds everyone involved. The light subsides, and Anakin looks upon Leia, who's had her arm and a large portion of her torso chopped off, and next to her stands a monstrous looking female figure with demon sharp teeth and pearl white tendrils, but most of all, extreme power in the Force that rivals Anakin himself. Abeloth has returned. Anakin looks at Talon, and they both order all of their forces to attack Abeloth immediately. Anakin pulls Leia towards him with the Force and focuses his energy on her wounds. He retreats to his ship and watches his warriors fall one by one to the might of Abeloth. They didn't stand a chance. He successfully escapes with Leia, only barely alive, and knows he's awoken a beast that should have stayed asleep. He immediately takes Leia back to his fortress on Coruscant and has the Force healers work on her for days, and they manage to stop the blood loss and keep her alive. but she's lost a significant chunk of flesh that's been replaced with machine. Meanwhile, Anakin sets up a meeting with Talon to discuss the events that have transpired. Anakin tells her he knows who it was, Abeloth, the mother, related to the father, son, and daughter, gods of the Force. He discovered in his readings that she was imprisoned. However, the recent surge of the dark side as a result of the war must have set her free, and she plans to carry out her one and only goal, to rule the galaxy and to kill all Force users in the process. They discuss her power and come to one conclusion: the only way to stop her is to combine their forces in a temporary alliance, and they both agree. Abeloth was a mystery. She began attacking both Talon and Anakin's forces, slowly taking out chunks of their empires. Anakin attempted to track her down many times, calling on the Force and his ability to peer into the future. However, the Force always denied him this. Abeloth had the ability to take over one's body, which made finding her that much more difficult. She used this ability to infiltrate squads and governments, to seize control and kill anyone in her way. She was an unstoppable force, and Anakin needed her gone, but also envied her power and wondered if he could take it for himself. The war with Abeloth would last until they finally managed to track her movements to the planet Endor. She made a larger dent in Anakin's empire than the Yuzong Vong ever did, and controlled a dangerously large fleet. Talon and Anakin bring their top warriors, including Luke, to the planet, and they engage Abeloth's fleet in space. Her ships were no match for Anakin and Talon's combined forces, and her command ship was forced to land on the forest moon of Endor. They go after her and manage to surround the wreckage of her command ship, inhibiting her escape. They sense her exit and attempt to escape into the forest adjacent, but are blocked by Talon's forces, and she, alongside Anakin, rush to her position immediately. They surround Abeloth, 50 warriors to 1, as she lets out an almighty scream, which causes everyone except Anakin to fall to their knees in pain. And in this opportunity, she rushes at Anakin, but fakes him out and stabs Talon through the chest, and goes to finish off Luke. Anakin reacts just in time, and blasts her away with the Force, as the effects of her scream begin to wear off. Anakin, the commanding Sith, orders all warriors to engage immediately, except Luke, and the two watch as Abeloth effortlessly cuts them all down, one by one. But Anakin is watching and analyzing her moves, her favored attacks, and how she responds to a specific strike, detailing this and forming an attack strategy in his mind. Abeloth wastes no time after defeating the warriors and heads to Anakin and Luke. The fight is rigorous and intense, but Anakin's analysis is working, and he's reading her moves and strategy correctly. He overcomes her strength and thrusts his blade through her chest. However, she's unfazed, and uses this moment of Anakin's complacency to kick Luke back against a tree, rendering him unconscious. Anakin thinks to himself, she can't be killed by lightsabers. Can she be killed? Yes, there must be a way. She's an entity of the Force. If he hits her with a blast of Force eruption, a devastating and ancient technique, stronger than has ever been produced before, it might overcome the Force that holds her together and rip her apart from the inside. It's his only option, but he only has one opportunity, as this would harness all of his strength. He has to render her immobile, but he doesn't know if it's possible. The fight continues. Anakin looks for his chance. His Force drain failed. Force sight didn't work for him. The battle seemed like it would go on forever, until he decides to use the surroundings to his advantage. He cuts the base of the trees around him, unknowingly to Abeloth, who doesn't suspect a thing, and lures her to the center. He jumps back and uses the Force to break the trees from their roots and pull them onto Abeloth, causing her to become stuck in the ground. He begins conjuring Force eruption and concentrates completely on himself and the Force, utilizing all his energy and passing it onto his final assault. But Abeloth pushes off one tree, then another and another. He's not going to make it. Eruption isn't fully ready until a hooded figure reveals himself from the forest and reaches out with his arms to hold Abeloth in place. She screams in pain, knowing her doom is upon her, as Anakin completes the conjuring of Force eruption and releases it at Abeloth, hitting her square in the abdomen and breaking the Force bonds holding her together as she dissipates into the atmosphere above. Anakin drops to his knees, fatigued, and looks upon the shadowed figure and asks who he is. But he begins to disappear into the forest, telling Anakin the recent war was only the beginning and was nothing compared to what was about to come. Thanks for watching, everyone. Let me know if you want part 3 in the comments and I'll get that ready ASAP. Suggest your predictions in the comments below, and I appreciate your continued support, and may the Force be with you.